This video was almost my last video. On leaving this site, I had to drive an awful long way to get back home. On doing so, I was travelling at 60 kilometers an hour through a town when a dog ran out from a house and went under my front wheel. The bike went down and went skidding down the road, bits of it flying left, right and centre. I went tumbling down the road and my left leg is now damaged, as is my hand, as is my lower back. But I feel I should be back on the road soon. I say this only just to amplify that when I speak of danger in my videos, I'm not joking. There's over 7 million bits of ordnance in the ground. There's Lord knows how many landmines and of course the venomous snakes. But there's also the roads. The driving here on occasions can only be described as extremely creative, but above all, very dangerous. The police did actually come to the scene, 7 policemen, but they did not find it necessary to actually take a report or question the guy who owned the dog any further. So I'm off the road yet again for another few weeks, but it won't stop me. I do what I do because I love what I do. So please really do enjoy this video because it's cost me an awful lot of heartache and an awful lot of pain.
Hello and welcome to Forgotten Temples of Cambodia with myself, Mr. B. I'm waving my arms. Can you see me? I'm standing in a gateway. It is quite simply a colossus. Can you see my arms stretched out wide? What you cannot see is how high this thing goes. You cannot appreciate the enormity of it because unfortunately there's a tree in the way just there that's stopping you seeing the very top of the arch. Now this, as I say, is an absolutely Herculean construction. It's just so damn big. I came here 2 years ago. It's one of the very first temples I ever filmed. And it was a rubbish film. It was just god-awful, quite simply. So it has been on my mind to come back here ever since. I've ached, and I mean that. I've thought about this place at night time, thinking, oh, I just want to go. But it's been the monsoon season. I've been held back and held back and held back. But look, the sun is out and I have returned. It's been a 6-hour epic ride on the bike. And usually when I do those kind of distances, it's to, get a cluster or I'm on a 3-day trip. But no, it's all about this single temple. I have yearned to see this. It is Bante Tope and it is an absolute epic. Allow me to walk away again because I really want you to give you an idea as to when people came here, nigh on 1,000 years ago, how impressed they must have been. And that's what I want you to be. I want you to be in awe of this thing. And as I do, I'll tell you a little more about it. It was built by Jayavarman VII, that most illustrious of kings, and it was constructed approximately in the 12th century. And it's easily worthy of the mighty Rome or any of the great ancient capitals. I mean, just look at how I am dwarfed. And you've got to remember, this is just the gateway. As I've said in the opener, this place is absolutely vast. I'm actually walking on large, blocks. I'm not, pushing the camera back to try and, make things look grander than they are. I'm actually wobbling about here on, huge building blocks that have fallen down from the archway I just showed you, which is just off camera to my right. Now, I still I feel, haven't done it justice in showing you the enormity of this place, because it's just awe-inspiring. What temple is it that's keeping me awake at night just thinking about it, trying to get back to it? I mean, I can't tell you how much I love this site, and it is so often empty. Locals come here, of course, why wouldn't you? But not many others. Now I'm going to have to do my old trick, and I'm hoping that the microphone will hold out. But what I'm going to have to do is what I do so often, and that is bugger off. And here I go. Now then, watch me go like the mountain goat of ecstasy that I am, because what I want to do is show you the size of this place yet again, and the only way I can do that is using myself as some sort of measuring stick. Have you noticed how small I'm getting already? Well, I'm telling you, I ain't even halfway there. Now I'm gonna have to be careful as to which route I pick. I need to do this in a pretty rapid way, but still be safe, because I fell off the temple just the other day and ripped the tendons in my foot. I was out of action for 3 months. Now then, can you see me? I bet you can't, but I'm going to start waving my arms soon, so hopefully you will get an idea. Now then, okay, I'm going to stand on this big block here. Look, can you see me waving my arms? That is how vast this place is, and how incredibly impressive it is. Just look at that beautiful blue piercing sky, and set against it are these ancient giants. Let us move on. Here is that doorway, gateway, that I shot in the opening scene. Now, when I was walking towards you and the camera, I was coming from right to left, you see. So we're now going in through the sideway. And a quick tip, by the way, if you ever see a big pile of leaves and, you know, foliage like that, never walk on it. That's where, you know, snakes are going to be. And here in Southeast Asia, there's some really, really venomous ones. And seeing as you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no hospitals, one bite is basically, you know, it's time to sit down and reminisce on your life, because you don't have much longer left. Now this is the second gateway. So where I'm standing at the moment is the first, but this is the second. Now I'm going to conclude the video here. So I'll be showing you that, you know, as a size thing at the very end. But it's time for us now to actually delve inside this unbelievable ancient wonder. Oh, geez, I've been thinking about this place for so long, and it's even better than I remember it. It is just such a wondrous sight. And here is one of those towers directly behind us, is an enormous gateway. Now, what is through here is quite simply amazing, and I mean it when I say I don't amp my videos. I don't get paid by YouTube, and I'm certainly not getting an awful lot of clicks. I do this for the love of it, and it's just, to me, it's wow, what a way to go, you know, what a way to spend a day. Now through here is something so wondrous and so amazing, it just knocks me out. And what it is original roof. Now, you never ever get to see this. Can you see on the one that's furthest away from you and the one that's nearest? The one that's closest is more decayed, but you can actually see carvings and patternings. Now you've got to bear in mind that these have been through monsoons and all sorts of weather and dust, you know, storms and all sorts for nigh on 1,000 years, and they're made of wood, and the humidity here can be, well, it's just beggars belief how bad the humidity is. But somehow a section of this original roof survived, and that is nothing short of a miracle. And there is our miracle roof. At the top of this absolutely epically large, gateway, doorway. And as we turn to move forward, we see another of these towers. Unlike many in the areas, it doesn't have the four faces along the top. But what this particular site gives us is a very good indication as to how big the town was that lived around it, the community. Because what has been discovered is an earthen embankment, which they surmise was to, enclose the town. And now that is 2 kilometres by 2 kilometres, so it's 2 kilometres square, which is a fair old size, isn't it, for an ancient town. But of course now, and I do mean this, nothing of that town, nothing of all those lives and all those people survives. The only thing, the solitary thing that survives is this temple. And as you can see by the debris field that we're continuously going through, it is, it has suffered quite badly. I mean, you can see it's just, it really needs a helping hand, this temple, and I'm sure it'll get it with time, in the future. But it's just such a wondrous sight to have all to yourself. I mean, you walk round the corner and right there is an ancient doorway that is just veiled in this, giant elephant grass, as I call it. Here is one of those epically large entranceways, and what we're missing in this temple is detailing. But if we come in here, we can see the most glorious of edging just at the top of, the walls on the inner sides. Here is this fantastic detailing, and it's really fine and really intricate, but it appears nowhere else. Now this is a huge difference to many temples I see, because I will see a lot of smaller temples that are just covered with, tens of thousands of hours of stonework, doing fine detailing and pretty patterns and so on. But this temple is oh so different. It's all about size and it's all about brute force. It's just an absolute giant that says, here I am and here I stay. They weren't really concerned so much with the detailing. I mean, it's very hard to find it, but if I come down here, this is what I found. It's just this stone. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see this for what it is, which is basically, decoration, but at an economy level. This is, this ain't flying first class. This is flying in cattle class. This is the economy seats right here. It's very, very basic. So the people that built this temple were more interested into size and grandeur. It was an impressive statement of strength, as was, also amplified by the fact of the earthen embankment that surrounded the town itself. This place was really on the map. But there's one last thing I'd like to show you, because I could never resist such a sight as this. It's far away in a mystical land on this occasion. At the back of this particular site, there's a doorway. And now it literally just leads out towards the jungle. But once there would have been life and people and loves and anguish and all sorts of things. All of humanity would have passed through this very door. But as I said prior, everything has now gone. There's not a bone, not a tool, not a housing roof. There's nothing. All that remains of all those lives is this very temple. Cast your eyes to the back of the screen. There I am, waving my arms yet again. And where I sit is within the second doorway. Now, the first was what you saw in the opening shot, but this second one is literally only 10 feet away. And isn't it mighty? I mean, to have two of these enormous, gateways right next to one another is, as I say, it's really to invoke power and to invoke strength. And I was sitting back there having a quiet moment to myself, and two thoughts crossed my mind. Firstly, this is actually a weekend, a holiday weekend, and there's still nobody here. It's just myself. And the second thought I had, which was a bit more profound, I suppose, is I could never be you. You see, my life has always been built around adventure in one way or another. It's got me into all sorts of trouble. I have to have things like this. I have to be on the road. I have to be looking to see what's round the next corner. You see, to me, life is a feast. I have to gorge myself on every flavour and every detail. Now, this has a side effect. I am single. I will always be single. I've never been married. I never shall. I will never have children because I have to live like this. It's the only way I can be happy. But it is, I suppose some may say, a lonely life. And people do ask me, don't you get lonely? And I always answer very simply. Some people call us lonely when we're really just alone. And there's a very big difference there. And look, what wonders I see. My goodness. It's a hell of a life, I'm telling you. I just want to cry sometimes by the pure beauty of it all. And what I hope is that yourself have enjoyed this little adventure, this little trip round somewhere as ancient and mystical as this, that's far away, in a distant land. And if by chance you could help me build a library of these ancient and often neglected temples, then I would be truly grateful. And now it's very easy. What you do is you go to www.patreon.com/temples, and the rest is there on the screen for you to view. As always, I conclude by saying I wish you absolutely nothing but the very best. You take good care now.